After almost 12 days of disrupted electricity supply in Pretoria East, the City of Tshwane has promised that the lights would finally be switched on last night. The power outage was caused by a fire that gutted the Mooikloof substation. To find out whether there is in fact light at the end of this dark tunnel, we're joined by Nkosazana Dambuza. Nkosazana, are you the bearer of good news this morning? Is there light in Pretoria East?
Well, I can tell you that the lights are back on in the eastern parts of Pretoria after 12 days of no power supply following a fire at the Mooikloof substation. So the City of Tshwane yesterday promised that there would be a phased approach to the gradual restoration of electricity and promised that the power would be restored by no later than 10 or 11 p.m. And traffic lights are working and residents also have power in their homes. So it looks like that has been the case. And of course, the residents are elated after 12 days of no power supply. I mean, they were very frustrated. They say life had been incredibly difficult. They had to even go to gyms in order to be able to get hot showers and go to libraries to charge their phones. So they are elated that the power is back. Let's take a listen to some of the residents here in Pretoria.
I'm grateful that it's back as well. These past few days has been crazy. We had to go places to go shower. We had takeaways to eat. And these past few days just taught me that I should be grateful for the electricity that we've got, and some people don't have it.
I'm glad that the power is restored, but the impact is massive because, as I remember well, the electricity went out early morning of the 6th, it was on a Monday, then only came back on a Friday night around 10 o'clock, and that it's a huge loss.
Well, I love it when there's good news, Nkosazana, and those residents seem extremely happy. Of course, it wasn't just households that were affected. There were some important installations like hospitals that had to bear the brunt of this lack of electricity. How have they fared through the last 12, 13 days?
Absolutely, it's been the Pretoria East Hospital particularly that's been without power. We've also visited some businesses such as hair salons that have had to just close down while they've had no power supply. A lot of the residents as well saying that, you know, they've had to just either buy a generator or just borrow a generator from someone else. We actually went to one of the local petrol stations here and the attendants there were telling us that people were actually filling up diesels, spending up to 1,000 rands per day just on diesels in order to run their generators. And of course, if you hadn't budgeted for such expenses, that could be very, very tough on your pocket. But I have to mention that yesterday as well, I got to visit the Mooikloof substation that was gutted by the fire 2 weeks ago. And I got to see for myself the extent of the damage. And Section A, Section B and Section C of the substation had been completely destroyed. But again, I come bearing good news to say that Section A is in fact fully operational now, which means that Mooikloof Estate, as well as the Winds, the Pretoria East Hospital have been restored with power. But Section B repairs are also progressing well. It's just Section C of the substation that is still outstanding in terms of power connection.
Nkosazana, thank you so much. Myself and the people of Pretoria East, thank you for bringing good news to us this morning.